just about 2 weeks, really, in a heavy quarantine. We're allowed out only to get emergency food, medication, and 1 hour of exercise a day each, which I use to walk the dog. We have a family dog, so I walk in once and the wife walks in once. In terms of how we're coping, it's pretty tricky. I'm fortunate enough to be able to do some degree of working from home. The hours of the contract with the client have been cut substantially. Some people have lost their jobs. I'm fortunate enough to be at a position where they need me still, but don't need me for the full amount of time. So my income has been hit. As I alluded to, the wife is struggling. The kids are off school. The schools are shut. There's no, whilst the government were making loud statements about financial support for companies, unfortunately, we can't claim because my company is in a position where it's slightly too big to claim, but slightly too small to claim on the other side of the attributed loans, etc. And they introduced this scheme called furloughing of employees, where you can lay them off for a time being, where the government will pay 80% of the wages. And unfortunately, it doesn't apply to us because I'm a company director, so they can't do that either. Well, with 2 kids at home, they're needing to be homeschooled. The wife's had to basically stop all the work that she does and now homeschool the kids. I'm working increased hours for no extra money because my normal 3 hours a day of commuting has turned into 3 hours a day extra just doing work. I find myself working earlier in the morning, which is actually fitting my natural body rhythm a lot better. I'm a morning person, so that suits me. And I play a lot of online games. I'm a heavy board gamer. I've been playing board games for many things, for a social aspect. Not being able to do that with friends who I used to do 2, 3, 4 times a week face to face is difficult, but there have been digital solutions for that. We had masses of shortages at the very start. Just before the full lockdown came into place, there was a lot of panic buying, and then towards the end of March, it was pretty crazy. You couldn't buy things, and to be honest, it looked like shops were just about to open. Never mind. Now, what they've done is all the supermarkets have basically said you can buy no more than 2 of any one item. Over the last week or so, supplies are now looking like the shops are pretty much stacked. Rice and pasta and some fruits are a problem still, but I'm guessing that's stuck in the supply chain. But pretty much everything now is back to normal, and the panic buying's pretty much stopped. What they've actually said was they will be led by the science. What they have started to do in the past week or so is put up data actually available on their daily presentations with the trend graphs. And I actually work in data and analytics as a profession, so I can take that data and actually understand it probably better than most. What they are looking for is a trend where they believe they can control the curve to the point at which they will be able to cope with the level of infection at a constant rate. What we have seen in the past 24, 48 hours is that we have, for the first time, seen hospital admissions actually drop. So the fact that we're now starting to see that, there's a lag effect of that. But in reality, I think that some loosening of restrictions is probably towards the end of April. Yeah. What I don't expect them to do is go back to normal. But the UK has adopted a very unusual approach compared to the rest of the countries around the world, where they have actually stated that they actually desire something called herd immunity, which is basically where at least 60% of the population have had it and have become immune. Because I think they realise from the science here, and bear in mind that England is one of the world's leading science places for this, they understand the fact that you're not going to stop COVID. What you actually need to do is get enough people immune so that the spread to the infirm is controlled, so that the healthcare organisation, the NHS here, the National Health Service, can actually cater for that intensive care load. I do a lot of driving for fun, just going out for a drive, going out to parks, places. You know, a nice day on Saturday, I'd have probably been down the beach. I love driving and getting out there in the parks and stuff. The freedom to move out and be away from the family as well as being with them on a good day out somewhere else is something I'm missing. While I'm working, I don't really miss that because, to be honest, my setup here in my office is better than being on client site. It's faster. I've got more monitors. I've got more resolution. I've got faster internet. I've got everything that I need here, and I'm probably a lot more productive here than I am actually in the office, on their site. What's really hurting though is the kids. The kids and the wife are really, really hurting. So they have nothing to do. They're bored. School is a problem because whilst they've rapidly set up a digital manner of doing that, they're really, really missing their friends. They're missing the interaction, and they're missing the things to do, like even going to the local park. They can't do it. All the parks. So even though we're allowed out for an hour of exercise, all the local parks are physically sealed shut. I try to encourage free reign. They have the eldest one uses WhatsApp, Skype, House Party, Zoom, and FaceTime. The youngest uses House Party and Zoom. Before I go out, I drive out there. I take my own bags, so I don't actually use the shopping baskets or anything. I load them all directly into my bag, the product, and then load it onto the checkout. All the checkout cashiers have gloves. They check it out, and I immediately load it back into my bag. So I don't contact with the high contact areas such as the shopping trolleys and the baskets, for example. And I then, as soon as I come home, I do wash my hands, wash my face, and wash my arms. I try to limit the time I'm in there. I make sure that while I'm in there, I stay as far away from them as people as possible. And everyone is very polite and obliging to do the same.